So we're going to get to our preview of UFC Fight Night this Saturday, Strickland versus Magomedov. Only the main card, of course, as usual. The first one is Sorry.
It's a hard name to pronounce.
Yeah. The first fight is Nursultan Ruziboev versus Bruno Ferreira. This is at middleweight. What are we saying for this one?
Bruno.
Bruno.
I think Bruno pretty decisively. It's a weird fight to weird matchup to make. I couldn't find anything on this guy. This Muziboev, but he's also the favorite. He's the 165 favorite. And Ferreira is plus 140 underdog.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he's got an MMA record of 10-0, and his last fight was a win in the UFC, and it was a first round TKO. So it doesn't make too much sense to me, this matchup.
I think the thing that makes sense is I think Ruziboev was I don't know if it was Brave or it was another organization. I think he was a champion or close to being a champion. There's also an 8-fight win streak. So his record's 34-8. It's not bad, really.
Yeah,
I mean, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's also not the greatest, but like, dude, 42 fights. I mean, that's no slouch, but not really in the UFC yet. So look, I mean, it is his UFC debut. He is a seasoned veteran, but I also think Bruno Ferreira is just too good everywhere. He's too athletic as well. And he just has more tools to win this fight. I don't think it's going to be very one-sided though. Ruziboev is actually, I mean, he's not bad, but that's outside of the UFC. I mean, okay, no. He's much better than not bad. He's actually really good.
Yeah, okay.
But that's outside of the UFC. So Bruno Ferreira has proven it in the UFC. So but again, I just look at the styles. That's what I always try to look at. And Ferreira, much better style, much more athletic, more tools, just better in the smaller things all around. So yeah.
Okay.
So we're agreeing on that one.
We're agreeing, yeah.
We gotta get our picks right. The title's on the line, eh? Title's on the line next week. Okay, then we got Ismail Bonfim versus Benoit Saint Denis. Denny, who you got in that one?
I have Benoit. I think stylistically he's got better chance. I think that he's got 2 wins in the UFC, both TKOs and then 1 loss. And it was a tough fight. I think that was against Santos. Tough fight. And I don't know. He just seemed really tough in that fight. They're both unranked guys. I remember it was like a prelim fight, but yeah, it just showed like a lot. Like I don't know. He like it really impressed me. I think that he takes this, but it's definitely a hard fight.
I've got the other way around. I've actually said Ismail. Couple of reasons. Okay, so first thing is on a 13-fight win streak. Okay, which is nothing to be
scoffed at.
Yeah. Okay. I look at the way that Benoit lost his last fight. It's not a fair reflection on his entire career, but it was a tough loss. Like he took a lot of damage. Okay. In that being said, he was not. I mean, they probably should have stopped the fight earlier. But it showed his toughness. Okay, that's his key to victory in this fight is his toughness. But I think Bonfim is a great striker, like a really good striker, has really, really good scrambles, great BJJ. He's just, for me,
very well-rounded.
For me, he's very well-rounded and he's good at everything. It's not a question of like having decent skills everywhere. Like he's actually good at everything.
Yeah.
So it is a close fight, but I think his style, for me, stylistically, it actually favors Bonfim. So I'm going to go with Ismail to win this one. And yeah, I don't venture to say how, but probably possibly a TKO, I think. I mean, it's going to be hard to put Benoit away. Benoit's so tough. But if Benoit can just weather that storm, catch him with good shots, he could win. But I think the gap in quality is probably going to be too big.
Okay. Yeah.
Then we've got obviously women's flyweight. We've got Ariane Lipski versus Melissa Gatto. Who you got for this one?
I Gatto.
You Gatto Melissa.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a really cool matchup. I think that Melissa, she's got more knockout power, and I think this is actually a very tough fight to call as well because it's going to be who can impose their game plan. I think that Gatto's got more of a she's got more knockout power, and she can get to
Lipski, carry on.
if she can get to Lipski, I think that like then she wins. I think if Lipski can keep the distance and keep that range, she'll be able to like win on points. All of her wins have been decision.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, majority of her wins at least.
Yeah, she seems like really good at that tactical fight.
Mm.
But yeah, I still see just the knockout power potential of Gatto.
Gatto. Yeah, I've also got Gatto. I think Lipski is a bit too static. In particular, and you can't be against Melissa Gatto. Melissa Gatto's got more tools. She's also again more dynamic.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to try to make a statement after her last fight. So, yeah, it was a loss. So I think she'll come back and make a statement. There's going to be a question on whether, the first time you lose, there's always a question on, are you going to come back stronger? Is it going to mess you up mentally?
Yeah.
But I think she'll come back stronger and really, really try and make a statement in this one. And she's got all the tools to do it.
Yeah.
So possibly, because of how static Lipski is, possibly KO or TKO. And because, like you say, with the power, but I think Gatto for me is the clear one to win this one for sure. Next we get welterweight. We got Max Griffin versus Michael Morales. What are we saying for this one?
I have Griffin.
You got Griffin.
I have Griffin. I think that he's a veteran. I know that there's a lot of promise from Morales. I know that like he's like a young talent, but yeah, Griffin. He's a veteran. Been around for a long time. I mean, recently his only loss has been to what's his name? Goodness, sorry, I do have it here. It was Neil Magny. Yeah, his only like recent loss. Other than that, he's like got quite a good resume. I think that just the experience here it puts him in good stead. I think it puts him over the top.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, that is true. I mean, look, I've gone the other way. I've got Michael Morales. For me, just too much. It's going to be too much. I think also if you look at the Guram fight that Max had, I think Guram actually won that fight. In my opinion, it was actually it was a split decision for Max. Yeah, I actually think for me this is probably one of the clearer victories on the card. And I know the last time I said that it didn't fare well for me, but I just look at the way Morales fights and yes, Max Griffin is more seasoned, more tested. It is kind of, I don't want to say it's make or break for him, but I just think
like
but it is actually.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Go from here.
Exactly. Yeah. I've got Morales for this one.
I mean, it's the toughest one for me to call, but I do think just experience wise.
Did you look at the betting odds?
Or? Yeah. Oh yes. Max Griffin is a underdog 170.
It's not a bad call. I mean that's a decent call to go with it. So if you want to go bet on that, then go for it. I don't know where those odds are, but if
no, from the UFC website.
All right. Okay. Cool. Okay. So all right. Then we've got Demir versus Grant Dawson. It's also really, 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 really good. Demir from Kazakhstan. Dawson ranked number 15. What are we saying for this one? Actually, sorry, before we get to that, really, really good in terms of their records. I mean, 24-2, 19-1-1. That's like, I mean, that's good record versus good record. So what are you saying for this one?
I have Dawson written down here, but also I can see that I wrote down Demir and then scratched it out because it is very tough. I think they're both like quite similar in terms of their style. But the reason I have Dawson was because he won over Gordon. And it's like both submissions. So he has 2 wins in the UFC. And I think the average fight time for Demir was 15 minutes. And like all of these fights, you can see like, I don't know, he's if he gets caught by Dawson, I think that it'll be over.
I've also got Dawson for this one. Like, first off, okay, Demir's got he won 19 fights before he lost to Arman. And that's, I mean, Arman's up there. So we've spoken about him before. So it's going to be tough for Grant Dawson. I don't know. I mean, Grant's also on an 11-fight win streak. And again, I've also got him there also because he beat Gordon. Gordon is a beast.
Yeah.
And I just, again, look at the styles, and I think, again, he's just a bit too athletic. Demir's great. Like he's great, and his record shows that.
Yeah.
But again, styles make fights. Whoever's quickest to the punch, whoever's quicker in the scrambles, and I think Grant Dawson is going to be that guy. And then next, obviously give him a top 10 opponent. Then maybe like top 7, something like that, and see where he's at with that.
Yeah. Don't give him to Taryukin yet.
Yeah, not Taryukin just yet.
Yeah.
Let him fight for the title.
Yeah, you think?
Sarukin. Yeah.
Already.
I'd hope.
Yeah. I would like to see him like break into the top 5, but like that's just such a hard
Beneil. We said Beneil as well. That's also a good fight for them.
Yeah.
Okay. Dawson, I don't know how. Maybe decision.
I think submission.
Submission. What, rear naked choke?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Then we get to the main event. This is an interesting one. It's always interesting with Sean Strickland because like it can go really bad, really well, kind of close.
I don't know why he's taking this fight though.
Maybe there's no. I mean, what are the options has he got?
But sure, you can wait or something like.
For who though?
Yeah.
Who's he waiting for? Costa?
Costa.
Does he want that fight?
Yeah, probably not.
Dricus? Does he want that fight?
Yeah, no, he wouldn't.
But
then I think that stylistically, this is probably like one of the worst options as well because he fights like like
are you ready for a duel?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that kind of style.
Yeah. And if you look at Magomedov's last win, where you just that kick up the middle, like if that catches Strickland like once,
done.
Yeah, done. And he's shown no defense for that. I mean, I know he's been sparring with Alex, and so he commented on his defense quite a lot in the vlogs. So I suspect maybe defense is a focus for him at the moment. But
do you believe that?
I don't think that I don't know. I just don't see why he would take this fight because I can't see him winning, if I'm honest.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be very similar to the Pereira fight where he's kind of just sort of flat-footed and he's trying to do a shoulder roll but he's getting whacked the whole time. And but this guy, Magomedov, dude, he's probably going to get some sort of a flashy KO, I think, similar to the Alex Pereira one. Where it's like a highlight reel type KO.
Yeah.
Because look, Strickland's tough, okay? And it was close with Cannonier, but I don't know. Strickland, Strickland for some reason wants to stand when he fights. So I think he needs to try to maybe wrestle, but Magomedov's got good grappling as well.
Yeah, a Dagestani that went to Germany.
Yeah, well, he's German. He's German now, but yeah, I mean the surname, of course.
Yeah.
And also, look, Strickland's very shaky against top competitors. He had a good run, and then he went and lost to Pereira, lost to Cannonier, even though split decision. So I mean, this guy's good so far. He's not ranked with anything, but I mean, he's got a good resume outside of the UFC. So
and great highlight reel from that last fight for his debut. Yeah, I don't know. If I was Sean Strickland's management, I'd just wait. I'd wait, find another fight, fight Brendan Allen. Do that again. I don't know, because this, I don't know. It's all. If he wins, he stays in the same place. He's going to be 7. If he loses, I
don't know if he'll. I mean, he'll probably stay 7, but at least he'll get a good fight on on that because it is a bit of a hype train with Magomedov and. I mean, you don't jump into a main event of such few fights, even if it's not a pay-per-view, by not having a bit of hype behind you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, maybe again, if you don't fight in the UFC, if you don't fight and you just keep rejecting fights and you're not as big a draw as you might think you are, you can get cut.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things that play into it. Maybe Strickland needs the money.
Yeah.
Maybe he has to fight. Who knows what his contract says?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we don't know. So, but I mean, one thing's for sure. I think we're both going for Magomedov. Strickland dropped down the rankings. If he loses, Magomedov into the top 15 straight away, easily.
But that's also, I don't know, it's a bit of an FU to the ranking system in general, because this guy's he's had one UFC fight. I know that he's coming in with an impressive resume, but that didn't even happen with Alex, Pereira, when he was a champion at it was or was it Brave?
No, was it Glory?
Glory, yes, sorry. But he was a champion at Glory, and then he still needed to like win a couple fights before he got main card. So I don't know. It's like
Oh, he did also jump the queue though because of the story with Adesanya. That's why I thought Dricus would kind of jump the queue because also he had a story with with Izzy.
Yeah.
But it is true. I mean, it is a bit of an FU to the rankings, but and I'm surprised on American, because it's like a Bo Nickel story where you put him on the main card, his debut above people that are like Dricus, who was like 4-0 in the UFC. So, or like Rahul Rosas Jr. being placed above Cameron Simon, and Cameron Simon's just been impressive performance after impressive performance, and he's still on the. I think he's still on the. He might now finally be on the prelims for the UFC 290 because his fight got rescheduled. But I think he was on the early prelims before that. The first, no, he's still the first to fight on the early prelims after all of that. So, I mean, anyway, that's a little side note.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that next week on the UFC 290. So, okay. So, we're both going Ferreira. You're going Benoit. I'm going Ismail. We're both going Gatto. You're going Griffin. I'm going Morales. We're both going Dawson. And we're both going Magomedov.
Yeah.
So there's a potential for a tie again.
I know.
Or there's a potential for a clear victory. So it'll be interesting to see, next week what the results are.
Yeah. I mean, I can change it to Morales instead of Griffin, but I'm going to stick to my guns.
Yeah, maybe that will come back and either haunt you or be a good decision.
Yeah.